I think it's time we revisit this. You remember how famous this was? You remember how this was the biggest story, the most shared social media post? Well, let's share it again. Look at who you got here. You got Kevin Spacey in the background. Oh, everybody knew about him. You've got Meryl Streep in there as well, who worshipped Roman Polanski. You've got the Trump-hating Jennifer Lawrence, whose career is tanking. And you've got the entire Hollywood cabal that knew about Harvey Weinstein the whole time right there.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
You know, we really don't go too deep into the rabbit hole here at INFOWARS. We try to stick to certain political issues, current issues, and not get too into the paranormal or the secret history. Hey, guys, could you pull that down? Actually, sorry, that's kind of just distracting me. The crew just put news reports going on the screen. If you think it's something I need to see, just print out the story for me. But if I look kind of tired today, this weekend, I just went deep down the rabbit hole of secret history and the origins of humanity that they don't talk about, the mysteries of the universe that they don't highlight. And it's funny because there was a moment in time over the weekend where I was watching something. It's honestly, it's so complex. It's so complicated. It's like NASA. It's like, what do you get into when you want to talk about NASA? You want to talk about all the fakes NASA's put out, many of which that they admit now. And it's funny because I was watching a documentary and it had Stanley Kubrick talking about his most famous film ever that nobody knows he did it. And then, of course, right after that, I was listening to Alex Jones' special report from over the weekend where he was talking about getting information off record from Stanley Kubrick and his family about his most popular film ever that nobody knows he shot. But it's like, that's just one angle of secret modern history. That doesn't even get into the secrets of the ancient pyramids, the secrets of the megaliths. But it's all out there. And we sit here and we obsess over race. We obsess over a gay cake. And it's just a joke. It's all just a joke when it really comes down to it. Secret energy. I mean, you can't even believe the stuff that humanity has been denied. I don't know if Trump's going to reveal it all, but he's certainly moving that direction. He said so in his inaugural speech. Does Trump deliver? Oh, and then there's these crazy connections with Trump and Tesla, and then Trump's gold apartment. I mean, you know, but I'm already going off the ledge. This is just like, but you come back down to earth, which is where they want us, and you deal with the muck. Like, look at what's going on in California right now. Okay. So who runs California? Well, the Democrats run California. Proud Democrat state. The liberal bastion in America is California. Bay Area poll. 46% of residents want to leave. Well, there's all kinds of reasons for that. You got feces on the streets. You've got rampant violence on the streets. You've got rampant homelessness on the streets run by Democrats. But what is the solution? Well, they're going to start giving them money. California City fights poverty with guaranteed income. Sounds good. Sounds like it might work. But keep that story up, guys, because it all comes back to that. Look at what California has done in history. The Clean Needle program. Now there's needles all over the streets. Now there's more drug use, more homelessness. They thought the Clean Needle program would work. It backfired. To the Clean Needle program, perhaps for that. But you don't even have to. The California government says you can now knowingly spread HIV and it's not a crime. STDs skyrocket in California and their politicians are scratching their heads like, what? How is this going on? And then they're all moving out of California. They can't afford it. They're sick of walking down the street and having to smell human feces. They're sick of walking down the street having to see a bum do his business in the streets. They're sick of being taxed to nothingness. They're sick of not being able to afford the rent except in an area where there's a feces-ridden street. And so what does California say? Well, we'll just give people money. That'll solve the problem. We'll just give them needles. That'll solve the problem. Oh, and then what happens? Drug use, up. STD, up. Poverty, up. Meanwhile, they want to bring in more people. So that's just one set of stories. How about this, though? You know, you have to say, Bill Clinton is finally catching some flack for all the philandering he did when he was president. Well, maybe not all of it, but at least with Monica Lewinsky. Now, I actually will give Bill Clinton a little credit because he's kind of standing up to the plate and saying, yeah, I don't regret what I did with Monica. You know, it was consensual. We had a good time. You know, Me Too movement, who cares? So there's old Billy boy. Who's just kind of like, yeah, I did have sexual relations with that woman. And I kind of liked it. And I think I'd do it again. You see what my wife looks like? You're telling me you wouldn't search for something else? Have you seen that woman? You're telling me if you were married to that woman, you wouldn't search elsewhere? Take anything you get, baby. Oh, but then it gets even worse. And Bill Clinton says that he's a victim because he left the White House in debt. Do you remember when Hillary Clinton said that she was dead broke? Or who was it? Was it Hillary that said she was dead broke? Can you guys find that story? I think it was Hillary Clinton that said she was dead broke. Or no, she said we left the White House dead broke. Oh. I mean, you want to talk about bold-faced liars. Oh, my gosh. But I am calling for the entire world to revisit the most famous selfie ever. Now, you may recall the most famous selfie ever taken by Ellen DeGeneres. I think it's time we revisit this. You remember how famous this was? You remember how this was the biggest story, the most shared social media post? Well, let's share it again. Look at who you got here. You got Kevin Spacey in the background. Oh, everybody knew about him. You've got Meryl Streep in there as well, who worshipped Roman Polanski. You've got the Trump-hating Jennifer Lawrence, whose career is tanking. And you've got the entire Hollywood cabal that knew about Harvey Weinstein the whole time right there. So let's revisit this social media post, the most famous social media post of all time. Let's reshare this with the hashtag #TheyAllKnew. And Harvey Weinstein is now being indicted in his rape case. Allison Mack is now trying to reach a plea bargain on her involvement in the sex trafficking of the Nexivum sex cult. And they all knew. All of them. They all knew about Harvey Weinstein. They all knew about Roman Polanski. They all knew about the sex cults. All of them. And then they all went out and virtue signaled to you that Trump was bad, #MeToo. The entire phony Hollywood cabal and establishment is falling apart at the